You're about to see a performance of The Grey is Chosen. It's an adaptation of a novel by Gwen Dandridge, who is here with us. The screenplay was written by Julie Dillmuth, who will say a few words in a few minutes. And now I want to introduce our director of today's performance, Frida Dillette.
Thank you so much for coming. I am so excited. When I first read the script at the very beginning, I could just envision the scenes. It was so descriptive. I was like, I love this. And it's about the powerful princess and some dragons. What is not to love? And it's been such a joy and such an honor to play with these delicious words and this incredible story. You are so in for a treat. So I gathered this incredible group of actors. Come on in. I found the festival there.
Leslie.
You're fine. And I am just going to have the actors go through and introduce themselves. They are fabulous, and you are in for such a treat.
Hi, I'm Rico Anderson.
You were in the thing in the story.
Do I want to say?
Oh yeah, go for it.
Oh, okay. So, all right, that was but I'm the king.
It's you.
Good to be the king. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm Melissa A. Smith, and I'm playing his queen.
I'm Tony Kim. I'm playing Captain Marcus and Ralph.
I'm May Ruling. I'm reading Clara and Harold and the stage directions.
I'm John Powers. I'm playing King Hugh Buchan.
I'm Morgan Lalana. I'm playing Chris. Hello, I'm Vanessa St. Clair, and I'm playing Genevieve.
Hi guys, I'm Gary Lawson, and I'm playing Tristan.
Hello, I'm Zaya Colia. I'm playing James, and a soldier and a guard.
Hi, I'm Greg Cuellar. I'm playing Prince Theo and Piers.
Hi, I'm Dana Coronado, and I'm playing Lucinda and Melody and Great Maria and also Morgan.
And I'm just going to get water up over here. And I'd love to bring up Julie Dillmuth, who wrote the screenplay, to say a moment and introduce us before we start. And
Thank you so much for coming. I'm so thrilled to share this with you. Thank you, Gwen, for giving me permission to adapt your story. And we wouldn't be here without you and your wonderful, wonderful story. And when I read it, it was the kind of thing where I saw the movie in my head, and I like, this used to be a movie, and then it's like, I want to write a screenplay. And so I know it. And going from when it's a first person, you're in the character's thoughts with the book, and then it's translated to the screen where you're just everything visual, and that's a huge challenge. That's a super fun challenge, and I love that. And I've been lucky enough to sit in on the rehearsals, and this is a phenomenal group of actors, and I'm just so thrilled to share this with you. So thank you, and enjoy the show.
The Dragon's Chosen, written by Julie Dillmuth, adapted from the novel by Gwen Dandridge. Fade in. Exterior, Crystal Mountain, day. A rock outcropping in a forest holds a series of cave entrances. A nearby cliff edge gives way to vast, forbidding wilderness. In a clearing ringed with stones, the last rays of sun catch a stone pillar with a rope hanging from it. A dark liquid stains the ground. Interior, cave chamber, night. Princess Genevieve, 17, desperate to maintain courage, and Chris, 19, equally terrified Berkeley sophomore from 1974, lie on their stomachs in a stone cavern, peering over a ledge into a wide, torch-lit pit 20 feet below. Genevieve's ornate, medieval-style white gown is dirty, her braided hair is disheveled. Chris, out of place in Genevieve's world, wears glasses and a long, plain skirt, Birkenstocks, and an ill-fitting period jacket over her t-shirt. From below, roars and echo through the cavern. Interior, dragon-covered night. 2 huge dragons circle the stone pit, with shimmering scales, twisting necks, and stretching wings. One is silver and emerald, the other coral and gold, beautiful and terrible. 3 more dragons enter from a channel in the rock, bronze and turquoise, purple and umber, platinum and red. They continue to snarl, roar, and scream. Interior, cave chamber night. Genevieve and Chris exchange a look of shock and fear. Exterior, Verdot countryside day, super, 2 months prior. Aerial view of the fictitious medieval-like kingdom of Verdot, rolling hills and farmland bordered by lush forest in golden light under a light summer sky. A castle stands sentinel in the distance. Exterior, field, day. Tall grouse ripples along a dirt path at the forest edge. A carefree Genevieve in a split-skirt riding dress strolls with Prince Theo, 19, entitled Prince Next Door, in court attire. They both lead horses.
You could woo me, though, as if it would make a difference.
Why? We know the backwards and forwards of each other.
But it's what suitors do.
Oh, Jen, I don't want to do that silly nonsense.
It's not nonsense. And why do they insist that we marry on my birthday anyway? The very moment I am of age. I may wake up to find you and Priestess Morgan in my bedchamber, starting the ceremony when I open my eyes.
That would be terrifying to wake to.
He looms over her.
Genevieve, blessed by the goddess, awake to the happiest day of your life.
At least you make me laugh.
When you, of all people, wouldn't fly in the face of tradition. Every princess marries as soon as she is of age.
Yes, but it's not as if my parents are eager to be rid of me. Who will play chess with father when I'm gone?
Aha! There's your answer. What king can stand being beaten at chess?
She turns to her horse and mounts easily.
Then why did he teach me so well?
The air next to her ripples, but she doesn't notice.
Race you back to the stables!
She urges her horse forward and gallops away. Theo scrambles to mount his horse, glowering, all charm gone. Behind him, Chris materializes out of the rippling air. She wears bell-bottoms and a t-shirt that reads, "Free the Chicago 7." In her hand is a golden card, the size of a large playing card. She looks around, stunned. It's her first time in this world. Theo chases after Genevieve. He doesn't notice Chris.
I will not allow you to best me after we're married.
Chris stares after him, wild-eyed, no idea where she is. A crow caws. With a startled yelp, she vanishes. Interior, UC Berkeley door ring, 1974, day. Insistent knocking on the door. Chris stands in the middle of her room, having just reappeared. A macrame hanging and anti-war posters adorn the walls. A crocheted blanket covers the bed. She stares at the golden card in her hand. On it, a crowned woman sits on a throne encircled by stylized birds. A woven pattern borders all sides. The knocking continues, and Chris slams the card into a small wooden box on her desk.
Chris?
Chris stuffs the box into her closet. She opens the door to let in her college friend, a 19-year-old woman in a cow t-shirt and bell-bottoms.
Were you asleep? It's time for consciousness raising group.
Yeah, sorry. Hey, was there something in those cookies?
No, regular chocolate chip, grandma's usual. Why?
Just checking. I had a weird dream.
Her eyes flick to the closet on her way out. Exterior field day. Genevieve races towards the castle, face lit with joy. She looks back to gloat at Theo. Turning forward, she stops her horse abruptly as a castle guard, 25, gallops up.
Your Highness, the king requires your presence at once.
Concern flashes across Genevieve's face. Interior main hall day. Genevieve strides into a large hall noisy with nobles and ladies. 3 musicians play lyre, lute, and flute in a corner. They exchange looks as Genevieve walks by. At the far end, her father, the king, 50, robust, stoic, waits with the queen, 40, delicate, fighting tears, and Priestess Morgan, 75, grim elegance. A hush falls over the room. All eyes are on Genevieve. Her confident stride falters. Theo enters the hall, his irritation changing to confusion. Genevieve reaches the king and drops into a deep curtsy. Morgan moves to her side.
Father, what has happened?
As she raises her head, Morgan slips a gold chain, the medallion around her neck.
You have been chosen.
Genevieve looks at the medallion, embossed with a dragon, then to her father. Recognition dawns. Interior, Queen's Chamber Day. Flashback. The same dragon symbol is embossed on an ancient leather-bound book. A 10-year-old Genevieve stands before her mother, the Queen, holding the book.
Mother, what is this?
The Queen pales.
The dragon is chosen.
Interior, Portrait Hall Day. Flashback. The Queen and 10-year-old Genevieve gaze at a wall with 14 paintings of young Letty.
Every 100 years, the dragons returned. These princesses received a golden token when they came of age and were taken to the Bandride Mountains, a sacrifice to maintain peace.
But there are no dragons here.
The Queen looks pointedly at Genevieve.
Their portraits hang in all 9 kingdoms.
10-year-old Genevieve studies the portraits in awe. The Queen walks to the last painting.
My own great aunt, Victoria.
Sacrifice to dragons. How extraordinary.
Interior, Main Hall Day. End flashback. Back to the present, the room has gone completely silent.
No.
Clear the hall.
Interior, Main Hall Day. The king paces, furious. Morgan stands impassive. Genevieve is in a daze, the medallion heavy around her neck.
No substitutions, no deviations from the chosen. She must be at the Crystal Caves in 2 months' time.
What?
The consequences, Your Highness. Dragons are not to be trifled with.
You need not tell me that, Morgan.
Morgan bows and exits silently. Genevieve clings to her father, who hugs her fiercely.
It's almost more than I can bear to limit you.
If you have taught me anything, it's that we are bound by duty.
Interior, Queen's Chamber Day. Genevieve enters. The Queen, crying, rushes to embrace her.
Oh, my sweet child.
What's going to happen? I don't want to be a sacrifice.
Where's Theo? Maybe if we married him today.
He left. He already left.
Genevieve sobs in her mother's arms. Exterior, Hedge Maze Day. Near the castle, a haggard-looking Genevieve stands with Priestess Morgan at the entrance to a labyrinth.
You look sleeping.
She draws a small vial out of the hidden pocket of her robes and presses it into Genevieve's hand.
You need rest. Your journey begins in 2 weeks' time. All rituals prepare you for adversity. Walking in the maze of the goddess, you will gain understanding and comfort. You're favored, blessed to have been chosen.
Disbelief crosses Genevieve's face. Blessed? Morgan nudges her through the entrance.
Trust. The goddess will provide. She will comfort.
Exterior, Hedge Maze Day. From high above, Genevieve makes her way alone, a tiny figure in a complex labyrinth. Exterior, balcony, night. Genevieve, in a lace-trimmed nightgown and shawl, sits in an ornate chair on the stone balcony of her bedroom. Her hands tremble as she empties the sleeping tonic from Morgan's vial into a cup.
The goddess will provide. Where's Theo when I need him?
She picks up the cup and looks out at the sky.
Goddess, please give me your wisdom, your courage, and your comfort.
She downs the drink. Exterior balcony, night. A short time later, Genevieve, curled in the chair, wipes tears from her face. The air ripples and Chris appears, holding the golden card. Her t-shirt reads, "Be the change you want to see in the world, Gandhi." She looks around in confusion. Genevieve sees her and jumps up, alarmed.
Who are you?
I'm Chris. Who are you?
Genevieve sways, dizzy from the sleeping drug, grabs the chair.
Princess Genevieve of Verdot, daughter of King.
Are you okay?
Genevieve gets an idea, and her face transforms, full of hope.
You were sent by the goddess. You're sent to help me.
What? I don't know. It's just this card. It brought me here. This has got to be a dream.
Brought you from where?
Berkeley? In America? This card is my great-grandmother's.
Genevieve makes an effort to focus.
Well, what's your king's name?
And we don't have a king. America's a democracy.
You don't have proper clothing either.
This is the style in 1974. Better than...
Short.
She tries pinching her arm. Genevieve speaks haltingly, fighting the sleeping drug.
I don't understand you. But I suppose that if you're from the goddess, I should expect that. I am grateful for your comfort and wisdom until I am eaten by dragons.
She stands and attempts a respectful curtsy, but tips forward. Chris catches it.
What? Oh my god. Help me to my bed.
Interior, Genevieve's room, night. Genevieve lays in bed. A fire crackles in the fireplace. Chris sits stiffly in a chair, as if afraid of touching anything. Genevieve grows more sleepy/loopy during the scene.
But you've never actually seen a dragon.
People have.
Chris jumps up and paces.
So, what? You're gonna be served up like a steak? For what?
My death will protect my kingdom for 100 years.
Chris looks skeptical. Genevieve attempts a level stare.
The stories of the Dragon Wars are terrible. I was destined for an alliance that would serve my kingdom. It is very likely that Theo would have bored me to death anyway.
This is ridiculous.
She feels her forehead, checking for fever.
You are a strange emissary. Is this some kind of test? Can you save me? Intervene?
Chris stares hard at her, fights panic.
What are your choices?
Choices?
This is a new concept for Genevieve. A knock at the door startles Chris and she vanishes. Genevieve blinks in surprise, then finally passes out. Interior, portrait hall, day. Genevieve sits for her portrait to be painted in a stunning gown, hair, a tower of braids, golden token, and a threat. Her face is a mask of calm, but her hands tremble. Nearby, the queen sits rigidly upright, grim. A clanging on-screen startles both women. Little brother Harold, 8, impish, lumbers into the room, struggling in armor and a raised sword. I am Sir Harold, the mightiest dragon slayer. I am prepared. Oh! Genevieve lights up, stands to help him. The queen ushers Harold out. Tears glisten in Genevieve's eyes. Exterior, hedge maze, day. Genevieve slips through the entrance of the maze with a quick glance over her shoulder. Hedges rise higher than her head on either side. She walks and breathes deep, drops the stoic mask. The air ripples and Chris appears. Chris tasting Genevieve and the hedge walls.
It's you again. Where are we?
The base of the goddess. It's said to impart strength of mind, but in truth, it's the only place I can be alone.
Or not. Sorry.
Genevieve grabs onto Chris like a lifeline.
No, stay. Why did you leave me? And you said you were sent here to help me.
This card, it brings me to you, apparently. But why and how?
She looks around as if for answers in the surroundings.
You spoke of choices before. Do you have a way out for me? I leave in mere days.
She waits while Chris, on the spot, grasps for words.
Well, who's behind this? Who said you were chosen? Since dragons aren't flying the friendly skies here, it's not like one lumbered up to the castle gate and knocked, is it?
Priestess Morgan told me.
So ask her for options. Petition your rulers. I mean, how does it even make sense? A floofy little mouthful like you for a dragon?
It has kept the peace for centuries. I don't expect a peasant like you to understand the responsibility of a kingdom.
I'm not a peasant. I'm a college sophomore.
Spare me the details of your family's trade.
My family's... No, it's not... Never mind.
I don't understand you.
Look, I don't want to fight. I'm just saying you have to stand up for you. You're the only one looking out for you in life, you know.
My life is in service to my kingdom.
Chris considers this. A rustling noise in the hedge startles her, and she disappears. Exterior, hedge maze, day. Genevieve exits the other end of the maze where Morgan waits. Genevieve curtsies respectfully, and they walk.
Mother Morgan, may I ask who was the emissary of the golden token? Did you see a dragon? How did you know it was me who was chosen?
Morgan, taken aback, turns with an intimidating stare.
What is this questioning? You have the greatest honor in a century. Is not your duty to fulfill your destiny? You must respect tradition. Respect the goddess.
Genevieve nods, chastened. Interior, castle entrance hall, night. Days later, Genevieve trudges in as the three musicians walk out. They bow, expression sympathetic. She smiles hollowly and nods. The last one is Tristan, 24, wise, intense. He stops her and presses a sheathed knife into her hand, holds her gaze.
Despair not, your highness. Sometimes it's dark because it is night, and sometimes because your eyes are closed.
The men exit, leaving Genevieve staring at the knife in her hand like she wants to drop it. Exterior courtyard, night. Genevieve runs outside, knife still in hand. She looks into the darkness, searching for the musicians. The courtyard is empty. Interior parlor, day. The king holds Genevieve in a loving embrace. The queen stands near, dabbing her eyes with a handkerchief. Genevieve holds a piece from the chessboard, fighting tears.
We'll say our goodbyes tonight.
I don't want a spectacle.
Exterior, castle gate, day. In the early morning, the traveling party departs. Captain Marcus, 50, strong, stoic, leads 5 horse-mounted soldiers, followed by Genevieve and servant Lucinda, 45, tough, slightly maternal, each on their own horse. Genevieve wears her finest, the musician's knife in her belt. A horse-drawn cart with supplies and a live pig is last in the procession, guarded by 4 mounted soldiers. Montage. The journey begins. The traveling party moves steadily on a wide dirt road. Genevieve holds her head high. In the fields and along the road, villagers watch. The men bow and the women curtsy. At dusk, they arrive at a rustic inn in a small gray village. The traveling party continues as the landscape changes into rolling hills and sparse forest. In cold, early morning light, they leave a castle. Villagers crowd the road, excited, throwing flowers and cheering. Genevieve is both horrified and touched. She fights to keep her emotions off her face. Aerial view of a lush, forested wilderness, and montage. Exterior campsite, day. The soldiers take down tents, stoke fires, tent horses. Genevieve holds a cloth bag of feed for her horse. Chris materializes and Genevieve jumps. Chris wears a crocheted shawl over a t-shirt that reads, "Women who seek to be equal with men lack ambition." A mini skirt and knee-high lace-up boots.
Chris, where have you been?
I was caught up with exams and papers, and then
You said you would be here for me. With me.
I did?
We're more than halfway there.
A tear falls down Genevieve's cheek. In the background, the men take notice of Chris and start to murmur and gather.
I wasn't sure this was real.
You weren't sure that this was...
Captain Marcus steps forward.
Step away, your highness. Begone, witch!
His words push all of Chris's buttons.
Why the hell would you assume?
Captain Marcus, Chris is a friend provided by the goddess from the land of Berkeley. Morgan foretold it. She is not a danger. She accompanies us.
She holds Marcus's gaze. Chris steps forward to speak, but Genevieve stops her, not taking her eyes off the captain.
She accompanies me.
Marcus finally relents.
Get some proper clothes on her before we have a riot.
He eyes her legs.
Perhaps uprising would be a better word. George, ready glory for writing. Distribute his pack amongst the others.
Chris smiles sweetly and blows a kiss to the men. Vouches to it. Exterior road, day. Chris and Genevieve ride in the middle of the party, Chris awkward on her horse. She wears a skirt of Genevieve's and a too large jacket of Lucinda's. Her hair fights a snood.
I had to come back to find out what was happening. Why did Great Nan Rhea have this? And why did she leave it to me?
Genevieve shrugs.
So, what's the plan when we get there? You didn't protest, did you? You're just going along with your people sending you to your death?
Exterior road, day. In the afternoon, still side by side on horseback, Chris talks Genevieve's ear off.
My women's studies professor says that this all happened all over the world in prehistoric times. It's cultural, this madness of men sending women to die. My consciousness raising groups thinks that I'm dreaming in metaphors for change. The dragons illustrate my fear of being absorbed in a male relationship. They say I'm reaching through my subconscious and they applaud my imagery.
Genevieve has no words.
But I know this is real. You're not facing those dragons without me. Maybe that's why I'm here, to stop this. In a way that doesn't endanger your people, though.
Genevieve looks skeptical.
Only, I have to go back to my world.
No.
Just for a few days. Time doesn't stop, and people wonder where I am. My parents think that I'm at a riot, and my friends think that I'm back home, so I promise I'll come back.
Genevieve's face falls. She stares ahead. Chris tries to will herself away, but nothing happens.
I think I need to be startled. Pinch me?
Genevieve gladly complies, pinching Chris's arm hard. Chris vanishes. Exterior, Last Chance Village, dusk. A few days later, the traveling party, without Chris, rides into a sad attempt at a valley town. Tom Maston, 50, greasy, air of malice, waits outside a dilapidated inn. Captain Marcus dismounts and talks to him. Genevieve tries to hide her distrust and revulsion. A soldier unloads the pig from the cart. Exterior fens, day. Tom Maston leads the party, minus the supply cart, along a narrow path in a gorgeously scenic march. The Fandrite Mountains loom ahead. Exterior waterfall, day. Late afternoon, a waterfall tumbles into a pond like a beautiful painting come to life. Lucinda helps a pale, gaunt Genevieve undress down to her shift. Genevieve wades in, swims, and floats, savoring the water. Sudden splashing makes her shriek. Chris stands up out of the water, sputtering, golden card in one hand, satchel in the other.
Damn, you had to be swimming?
Genevieve bursts out laughing, pent-up emotions flooding out.
Sorry.
Lucinda smirks, chuckles. Chris finally smiles, throws a splash at Genevieve.
Fine, it's funny.
Chris wades to shore, drops her satchel, whips off her tie-dye shirt to wring it out. She tucks the card into her bra. Genevieve follows, wide-eyed at Chris's lack of modesty. Lucinda hands Genevieve a drying cloth.
Lucinda, please get Chris dry clothing, decent clothing. That Tom Maston is hovering around, and I'll not leave you unchaperoned.
Chris pulls her borrowed jacket out of her satchel.
Who's Tom Maston? I've got mace.
Lucinda and Genevieve eye Chris warily. Where could she be hiding a mace? Exterior Fandrite Mountains, day. Another late afternoon. Tom Maston leads the group along a ridge with granite boulders above a lush forest.
Not far now.
In the distance, lightning strikes out of the black clouds. Chris once again wears the borrowed skirt and jacket. The horses step nervously. Riders struggle to maintain control as an unearthly shriek sounds above the wind gusts. Genevieve looks up, sees 3 dragons circling high above. Lightning strikes close, thunder cracks, and all hell breaks loose. Horses rear, scream, men... Chris's horse bolts, heading down to the forest.
Help! Ah!
Genevieve urges her horse forward to follow Chris.
Chris, hold on!
Exterior Fandrite Forest, day. In the dim light of the deep woods, Chris lies on the ground. Genevieve rides up and leaps off to help Chris.
Are you hurt? Oh, Chris.
Nice riding, huh?
Thunder cracks again and Genevieve's horse takes off running.
Winter!
Ugh. Chris stands, checks herself for injury, adjusts her satchel.
Where are we? Where are the guys?
Genevieve whirls around at a loss. She gestures in the direction they came.
This way?
Wait, we got away.
We got away.
They're looking for us. They'll find us.
But what if they don't? This could be your chance to escape. It's not like you did it on purpose.
Genevieve takes a moment to consider. She shakes her head.
I promised my people I will not bring devastation on them. You saw the sky.
Those were dragons, weren't they?
And where would we go? The treachery of these mountains? How long would we even survive?
Maybe the card could take us both back to my world.
I have prepared myself to die. And if I escape to your world not knowing the fate of... Well, how could I leave them? Imagining those dragons attacking? No. Not if my death can prevent that.
Chris nods reluctantly, impressed.
They must be looking for us. Come.
Exterior rocky clearing, night. Fog swirls among the trees. Genevieve and Chris shelter at the base of a boulder. A stream runs through the clearing.
Hello? Help! Tom Maston! Where's that creep when you're looking for him?
Genevieve takes a breath in preparation to shout. Then a movement catches her eye. She grabs Chris's arm.
Wolves.
Genevieve pulls out her knife, the gift from Tristan the Minstrel, and holds it steadied in front of her.
Don't turn your back on them. You don't perhaps have a flint or something to start a fire?
I think I have matches. Wasn't a Girl Scout for nothing. Yes, and mace. This should work on wolves. Actual furry ones, not just the human variety.
They gather dry leaves and branches within reach. The wolves, 5 of them, edge closer, sniffing the air. Chris lights the leaves, the vial of mace in her hand. Genevieve feeds more leaves into the flame while Frisk breaks a small branch into small sticks.
It's too small. It won't ward them off.
With a snarl, a wolf charges towards them. At the same moment, a mysterious man with a sword leaps out of the darkness to intercept the wolf.
Holy Batman, who the hell?
We can see that it's Tristan, the musician who gave Genevieve the knife, but he wears a hood and does not let Genevieve recognize him. 2 more wolves jump the creek on the attack. Chris gets one with mace, it yelps and runs away. Genevieve whirls out of the way of the other as it rips her skirt. She stabs blindly over and over, and the wolf goes down. Meanwhile, the mysterious man neatly kills the 4th one, and the 5th falls towards Chris. Chris throws herself backwards. As she hits the ground, she disappears. The wolf stops, startled, and in 2 steps, Tristan reaches it and runs it through with his sword. Genevieve, panting, with bloody hands and torn skirt, holds out her knife, alert for wolves and wary of the mysterious man. All is still. She sinks to the ground.
Are you harmed, my lady?
I think not. Just...
She looks at her shaking hands with disgust, dropping the knife.
Your
She
companion.
crawls to the stream to wash.
Your companion. Where did she go?
Chris, away. Gone. Gone.
He melts into the darkness. Genevieve kneels at the stream, scrubbing her hands with effort, exhausted. She realizes she is completely alone. Panic washes over her face, her body shakes uncontrollably. Tristan reappears with his arms full of branches from the fire, which is all but out. Exterior rocky clearing night. Genevieve, shivering and dazed, sits in the glow of a strong fire with her back to the boulder. She tries to breathe evenly. Tristan settles himself in a way so his face is not visible to Genevieve. He cleans his sword, scraping off the blood.
Thank you. I am grateful.
He takes dry meat from his bag and gives it to her. She tries surreptitiously to stare at him.
You don't ask my name or my situation.
She sways slightly and blinks.
We've not been properly introduced, no.
Consternation on Genevieve's face. There is something familiar about this man.
Your voice.
Her shivers turn into full-body shaking. Tristan puts down his sword and picks up his satchel.
You need rest. Not much of a pillow, but...
He places the bag next to Genevieve, who gratefully keels over. Her eyes close, her shaking quiets, coming in fits and starts.
Tell me who you are.
I'll keep watch.
Exterior Fandrite Forest, day. At dawn, Captain Marcus leads the search. He points to a freshly burned marker on a tree in wonder.
Another one. This way!
Exterior rocky clearing, day. Genevieve sleeps. Her head rests on her hands. The fire embers glow. Her knife, clean, lies next to her hand. Thrashing sounds wake Genevieve and she sits up tense. She sees the knife, grabs it, and scrambles to her knee. Captain Marcus and his soldiers emerge from the forest. She sinks to her knees in relief. Exterior, Crystal Mountain, near summit, day. The traveling party has dismounted in sparse forest. Soldiers set up a tent. Genevieve faces a resolute Captain Marcus who holds a cup and a small vial like the one Morrigan gave Genevieve.
You must be at the cave entrance before dusk. We have to leave you, and doing what I can to help you. Take this and you will sleep.
He holds it out. Genevieve stares but doesn't take it. Interior tent, day. Genevieve sits on a blanket in an elaborate white gown. The potion cup is half empty next to her. Lucinda, braiding Genevieve's hair, frowns, her cheeks wet. Genevieve holds her father's chess piece. She picks up her knife and runs a finger over the pattern on the handle.
All right, love. Come on now, take the rest.
Genevieve picks up the cup and brings it to her lips. She hesitates, as pieces of a puzzle come together in her mind. Montage, flashbacks of the pattern. The same pattern around the border of Chris's golden card, the same pattern on the sword hilt of the mysterious wolf slayer as he cleaned it by the fire, the musician giving her the knife. End montage, end flashbacks. Genevieve sways, blinks hard, tries to focus as the drug takes effect. She discreetly pours the rest of the cup contents onto the ground. Then she closes her eyes. Darkness. Exterior clearing, dusk. Genevieve is doubled over on the ground next to a stone pillar in a clearing ringed with stones, the location from the opening scene. Chris crouches over her.
That's it. Empty your stomach. Oh, gross. Can't believe they tied you here like an actual sheep.
A groggy Genevieve lifts her head.
Oh, for friggin' sake, come on, open your eyes.
With effort, Genevieve opens her eyes wide.
Move your feet. God, you weigh a ton. Or your dress does, anyway.
Chris supports Genevieve as they stumble towards the caves. As they disappear into a fissure in the rock, a dragon screeches, and a shadow crosses the clearing. Interior, crystal caves, night.
Darkening. Keep going. Go, go. We have to hide. It's too small for dragons in here. Oh, wait, I brought a lighter.
She flicks her Bic and holds it up, looking around the cave chamber. Unlit torches line the wall. Chris takes one down, lights it.
Who put these here, do you think?
Genevieve staggers forward, holding her head, wincing. The sound of trumpeting dragon in the distance.
I think they noticed you're gone.
They move further into the caves. Interior, cave, water, cavern, night. In a large chamber, water pools in a rock basin and runs into a stream.
Oh, thank the goddess.
Genevieve falls upon the water and gulps it into her mouth. Chris finds a place for the torch, then sits and pulls snacks out of her bag. Pink Hostess snowballs, pudding packs in tin cans, cheese in a can.
You need food. It makes putting a party.
Genevieve is thoroughly confused. Interior, cave, water, cavern, night. Genevieve's face is clean, hair smoothed. She stuffs the last bit of snowball into her mouth while Chris squirts cheese on a cracker. She hands it to Genevieve. Genevieve takes a dainty bite and reacts with disgust, passes it back to Chris, who shrugs.
Maybe it's an acquired taste. Feeling better?
Genevieve's nod is interrupted by dragons. They start faint and grow louder. The women look at each other in fear.
We can't sit here like sitting ducks.
She takes tentative, unsteady steps towards the path.
Where are you going? Do you smell that?
Chris follows her, sniffing hair.
Someone's cooking.
They continue into the darkness. Interior, cave chamber, night. Genevieve and Chris, on their stomachs at the edge of a wide pit, peer down in terror. We are cut off now to the opening sea. From 20 feet below, roars and Genevieve reaches over to clutch at Chris's shirt. Interior, dragon cavern, night. 5 awe-inspiring dragons swarm in the stone pit. The growls and roars subside as each dragon transforms into a human man. They are Hugh, 26, the king, exudes leadership and a commanding presence. Tristan, 24, seen earlier as a musician and wolf slayer, diplomatic, intelligent. Ralph, 26, broad-shouldered, arrogant, seen before as a musician. Pierce, 16, young, scrawny, also a musician. James, 20, kind, affable, extensive knowledge of history. The men, naked, take clothing and boots out of niches carved in the rock. They dress. The cavern has a fire pit, an iron cauldron bubbling over the fire, and a wooden table with benches. A stone bench is carved into the wall, and a curving staircase leads up to the ledge where Genevieve and Chris peer down.
We'll search the cabins next.
5 heads turn to look up at the ledge.
She's there.
Hurry.
Interior, cave chamber, night. Genevieve pushes back into the shadows, leaps to her feet, freezes in fear. Chris gets up, grabs her hand.
What do we do? Run? They know we're here, and I know that man.
Sounds of boots on stairs and hushed voices below. Genevieve squares her shoulders and steps to the ledge, the top of the stairs. She wobbles and takes the first 3 stairs quickly, reaching out to the rock wall to steady herself. She stops. Interior, dragon cavern, night. Surprise on the men's faces when they see Genevieve coming down. Hugh and Tristan stop where they are in the staircase. Genevieve's breath comes fast. She recognizes the 3 traveling musicians from her castle. Chris follows behind.
I've got your back.
Genevieve continues down the stairs regally, all eyes on her in silence. Chris follows. Hugh and Tristan back down off the staircase. Tristan avoids Genevieve's eyes. Piers and James silently move from the fire to stand behind the other men. Genevieve stops on the last stair for a height advantage. She looks at each of them, eyes narrowed, her fear not showing on her face. She lingers a moment longer on Tristan. He raises his eyes to meet hers, and a spark of attraction flickers between them. Hugh steps forward and offers his hand.
Welcome, Princess Genevieve. And of course, the Lady Chris.
As his hand approaches Genevieve, she slaps it down.
How dare you think to touch me? Shit.
Hugh holds his hands out as in surrender.
Only a knave would bring me here. I am a princess, and you are but a
King.
Genevieve is taken aback, recovers herself.
In my realm, no noble would behave so ignobly. But then my father set a high standard for chivalry.
This is a test. This is only a test. Had this been a real emergency...
This has not been the best reception for you, I fear, but please, sit. We will explain.
Very well. I have journeyed long to hear this, and no one could be more fervent to understand than I.
Genevieve gathers her skirts and settles on the stone bench. A shiver belies the defiant front she struggles to maintain. Chris sits next to her.
I am Hugh Buchan, King of Pretorius. My brothers, Tristan and Piers.
He gestures, and Tristan and Piers give a short bow to Genevieve. Her gaze hardens.
We've met.
And my cousins, Dukes, Ralph and James.
Ralph and James bow their heads.
My lady.
We wish to apologize for the inconvenience to you. I know this has been very trying.
Chris makes a choking sound. Genevieve glances at her, opens her mouth to speak.
We offer you no harm. We will take every effort to make you comfortable from here on in our journey.
I beg your pardon?
You are in no danger.
It is the last part of your speech that I am questioning.
We leave at first light tomorrow.
Leave?
You are the chosen bride.
Interior Dragon Cavern night. Genevieve and Chris sit at the wooden table across from Hugh and Ralph with wooden trenchers of hot stew in front of them and horn goblets of wine. Tristan, Piers, and James perch on the stone bench nearby. Genevieve stares at the food in front of her, trying not to show how famished she is. Chris doesn't touch her food.
A ruse to snare a royal princess.
No. A negotiated agreement. A treaty. Going back centuries.
Are you suggesting my father lied to me? Led me to believe I was to die?
None of the kings were privy to the details, only the church leaders. In your kingdom, Morrigan.
Why?
Your lands are known for their charming women.
Ugh, give me a break.
As yours are for secretive, deceiving men?
So why? Surely you have women in your land.
Please eat. 1100 years ago, the pass through the mountains collapsed.
Exterior Pretorius Mountains flashback. Jagged mountains rise from a lush valley of farmland with a wide road full of horse-drawn carts and other travelers approaching a narrow pass. The landscape shudders, people scream, fall, and a massive part of the mountain cleaves off into the pass with a thundering boom. 4 dragons swoop in and fly fast to inspect the damage.
Our ties with the neighboring lands were severed, but we had plentiful resources, were self-sufficient.
Exterior Pretorius Kingdom flashback. Overview of a prosperous, peaceful agrarian land.
And were protected from those who would hunt.
Dragons.
Interior Dragon Cavern night. End flashback. Famished Genevieve eats discreetly.
We observe your transformation.
Raised eyebrows from Dan.
Several hundred years later, however, some were no longer able to change between dragons and humans at their wish.
You were too inbred. Classic.
We needed to marry outsiders with no dragon blood.
It was Denson's son, Denson IV, who was locked in his dragon form for a year.
Exterior Pretorius Castle Courtyard day. Flashback. A golden yellow dragon hovers over the ground, beating his wings in snarling flame. A handful of men and women in long, formal robes surround him, reach out. A woman weeps. Interior Dragon Cavern night. End flashback. A glimmer of concern crosses Genevieve's face.
Nothing could be done. To break the curse, the royals realized they must look elsewhere for mates.
But none of the royals could leave. None of the royals would ever leave.
Hugh gets up and paces.
We needed human wives to survive. When these kingdoms wouldn't negotiate, our hand was forced.
What do you mean?
3 human princesses were chosen to marry the 3 sons of the King Pretorius. Chosen and carried back.
Kidnapped? Abducted?
War ensued. 10 long years of it.
What the hell?
As Chris grows agitated, Genevieve remains calm, stoic.
It ended in negotiation. Your kingdom's protected from the scourge of dragonfire in exchange for a bride. Up to 2 every 100 years.
That's like blackmail. That's disgusting.
Princess chosen by emissaries based on careful deliberations of her strength and suitability.
Why is this treaty a secret? Why the subterfuge?
Dragons were still hunted, for valor or for blood, so we disappeared spreading tales and songs to inspire fear, for our own protection.
Hence yon traveling minstrels, spies, and rumor mongers.
Someone had to find the perfect candidate and deliver the bride price to the church.
In isolation, we fear the loss of our humanity.
Silence.
Humanity?
Which one of you seeks my hand?
You can't be considering this. So many levels of wrong.
Hugh stands, drops to one knee.
As king, the honor is mine to accept your hand and to make you my queen.
Hugh's face clouds at Genevieve's silence.
Everything has been done according to the rules. This is an honor for you. Our queens are revered. This is no different from any other politically arranged marriage.
Genevieve regards him coolly. Then a change comes over her. She smiles with diplomacy tinged with relief.
Indeed. In that case, show me the compact.
The men react with surprise and confusion. Interior cave chamber night. The cave above the dragon cavern is lit with flaming torches and coals glow in a small fire pit. Genevieve sits on animal furs and blankets, poring over parchment. Chris paces beside herself.
Cannot believe. Actual dragons who are half human, and the cruelty, the deception. They're monsters.
Genevieve looks up.
That's a smart move. Asking to see the contract. I'm sure we can find a loophole.
I wasn't counting on them having a copy of it hidden in the caves. If I had time to make better sense of it between the old script and the legal terms, I have such a headache.
Chris plops down next to a large bag, opens it, and pulls clothing out. Gowns, undergarments, shawls, and shoes in both Genevieve's kingdom style and Pretoria style.
They sure came prepared. How very kind to offer you a choice.
She examines a riding gown, holds it up to herself.
How much you want to bet these are exactly in your size, too? We've got to get you out of here.
Genevieve looks at Chris like she's mad, holds up the parchment.
This is a treaty.
Exterior clearing, day. In bright morning sun, Chris and Genevieve, who still wears her disheveled clothes, face Hugh, Tristan, Ralph, James, and Pierce. Genevieve holds the ancient parchment. She stands tall to project confidence.
I have a more complete understanding of the purpose and terms of the agreement.
Hugh nods, steps forward to take the document.
The weather is fine today. Perfect for our journey. We should begin
If
preparation.
you please, I may select any one of you to meet the conditions of the treaty.
No, it has always been the eldest son of the king.
5 men are sent to bring the bride safely over the mountains to your land. Hail and hearty men of honor for her to choose from. Those are the words. Those are the terms.
You were chosen for me.
He steps forward and reaches for her. Chris slides in between them, staring. Don't even think about it.
You took time to choose me. I also require time for such an important decision. An alliance between our 2 kingdoms.
Hugh finally turns, stuffs away.
Very well. We shall return to Pretorius and address this matter there.
No, I will decide here, not in your lands, King Buchan, where no one would dare offer for me or accept me.
You are here alone, without counsel.
Genevieve looks pointedly at Chris.
You understand the consequences if you should choose another, sitting powerless in a foreign land? You are a proud woman, bred to rule. My cousins and brothers are good men, but I am king.
You are such a jerk. Devaluing women like that, as if that's all women think about in marrying.
And yet I may choose you. So I propose a contest, a series of challenges.
Power and status. Marrying a human.
Hugh snarls and turns to Ralph, whose facial features begin to change. Smoke wisps out of his nostrils, the air shimmers. Piers gently escorts Genevieve and Chris towards the cave.
Your proposal comes as a slight surprise. I believe Hugh needs a bit of time to consider it fully.
Genevieve and Chris pause at the cave entrance as Hugh transforms into a gold and purple dragon, scales flashing. Tristan and Ralph, pulling off their boots and shirts, disappear into the dust raised by Hugh. Hugh roars. Flame and steam snake out from his mouth. Tristan changes into a silver and emerald dragon, and Ralph's into a bronze and turquoise one. Snarls fill the air as they move away from the caves. Both women stare in awe and fear.
I believe he is not used to being gainsaid.
As my great nan used to say, do not meddle in the affairs of dragons, for you are crunchy and taste good with ketchup.
You said you don't have dragons in your world.
We don't. It's just a saying.
They flinch as rock fragments clatter against the cave entrance. Genevieve retreats into the caves, Chris following. Interior, cave chamber, day. Chris paces while Genevieve walks slowly, twisting her hands.
You would marry one of those? 8-inch claws and teeth. If you have the tiniest marital spot, you'd end up like a toasted marshmallow. Even if you were a queen.
Chris's comment makes Genevieve check her appearance. She doesn't look much like royalty in her bedraggled gown. She tries to undress, not quite knowing where to start.
You don't even know if their human wives survive birthing a dragon. What if it comes out in dragon form? What if you lay an egg? Stop yelling at me! Lower your voice!
Genevieve stands, waiting for Chris to help her with her dress.
They're out there having a knockdown, drag-out fight, and you worry about us yelling? Help me with my dress! Seriously?
Chris reluctantly helps her. Genevieve, in her shift, sorts through the clothes from the bag.
So you're fine with being a trophy wife? A prize for a dragon?
It's like any other political alliance. I thought it would be with the tedious yet handsome Theo, but now it's a different kingdom, and I am maintaining a peace treaty. I even get to choose, possibly.
Not unless it's last dragon standing.
Genevieve chooses a gown in her own Bordeaux style and attempts to dress.
Of course I want out, but they didn't eat me, and there's an agreement. Maybe in another lifetime I can change it, but first I have to abide by the terms set forth 800 years ago.
What makes you think these dragons will change when you shake your royal finger at them? Easier to flatten you like a pancake or burn you to a crisp.
They need heirs. They need me, as a human more than any other kingdom would.
She shudders, then shifts tone.
And I need your help to dress.
Chris snatches the gown from Genevieve's hand.
A brood mare.
Wow. Then your choice is clear. The charming hue to maximize any chance of power.
Genevieve sighs, drops to her knees in a pile of furs, and picks up the parchment.
I know, but the choosing gives me time. Maybe there's something I missed.
Interior cave chamber day. Genevieve, fully dressed, traces her finger along the parchment as she reads. She is alone in the cave. She holds her father's chess piece. She looks at it, squeezes her hand around it.
They think me dead by now.
She drops it in her lap and presses her hands to her eyes. Footsteps startle her, and she jumps to her feet. Tristan and Piers enter with steaming bowls of food and a small rustic table. Genevieve's eyes track Tristan. He clears his throat.
If there's anything we can do to make this easier?
Aside from returning me to my life and family, no, nothing.
Piers puts the table in a wineskin down, then hurries out. Tristan sets the bowls on the table.
Please believe me, we won't come to harm at our hands.
It was you. You were there at the castle, playing music, singing. You marked me as chosen. Why me?
Her gaze is accusing. His is measured, compassionate.
We searched for a woman worthy of the king, someone with strength. And there you were, bright, well-spoken, beautiful. We congratulated ourselves when we found you.
Genevieve looks away toward the floor.
We didn't consider the cost of our subterfuge, its toll on you. We understood this was the custom, but we do have a responsibility to you, a gently raised lady.
And this is where you take me, a gently raised lady, to a cave, to wed a dragon. Perhaps marrying a half-beast is only slightly better to me than being eaten by one.
Tristan looks away. Genevieve discreetly studies him.
I understand you not wanting to marry one who is not wholly human.
They stand in silence. Genevieve's gaze intensifies.
You lied to me.
Tristan meets her eyes, matches her gaze, steps forward.
No. Never.
But you knew what was coming, and you let me believe that I was to die. Was that honest, fair, and honorable?
Not particularly, my lady.
Interior Dragon Cavern day. Later, Genevieve descends the staircase, knife in her belt. Chris follows in jeans and a low-neck t-shirt that says, "Warning, I have an attitude and I know how to use it." The men, finished eating, stand and face her. Hugh has a bruised cheek, Ralph with swollen lips. Hugh stares at Chris's shirt until Genevieve speaks.
I've decided the challenge is to select my husband. 1, a sword display so I may see you fight. 2, each of you will play chess against me. And 3, each of you will present me with the perfect gift.
And if we choose not to play, but simply take you back to our kingdom as the treaty allows?
Then, though you have a princess, you have one who seeks to undermine you for the rest of your life. Is that your wish? Or do you want someone who will support you, raise your children, stand by your side?
Chris glares at the men. Tristan and James exchange a look, then stare at the floor. Ralph considers Genevieve's words. Hugh narrows his eyes.
Perhaps it makes no great difference to us.
We honor your treaty, but with my rules.
We leave today, Genevieve. This discussion is over.
Genevieve stands rooted to the spot, looking ill. Then, in one motion, she steps back, pulls her knife from her belt, and presses it to her wrist.
Oh my God!
Hugh starts forward as if to grab her, and Genevieve steps back again. The knife draws blood.
Don't come closer. I came here willing to die for my land, and I am willing to marry for my land, but know you, I will choose death before the dishonor of being taken by force.
Genevieve's rapid breathing is the only sound in the cavern. Chris watches fearfully, hand clamped over the mouth. What are you doing?
Just like Penelope.
Quiet, James. She's bluffing. Come. Don't damage your pretty arm to make a point.
Not until I have your word.
Hugh takes another step forward. Genevieve pushes the knife. Blood flows faster. Her eyes focus mostly on Hugh, but shift to the others like a caged animal. A long, tense beat.
Peace.
Hugh's gaze whips to Tristan, glaring. They exchange a look.
Brothers, we can't lose her this way. She's to be the queen or wife of one of us. Let us start respecting her word.
Very well.
Tristan crosses the cavern towards Genevieve, eyes on hers.
It will be as you say. We will abide by your rules.
The other men nod their heads in agreement. Hugh is the last to do so.
As the storm hole, we will wait.
Then may I choose?
You have my word.
Tristan clamps his hand over her wrist to stop the blood flow. The knife clatters to the floor. Exterior clearing, day. Next morning, Genevieve and Chris emerge from the caves to a roaring fire, chairs and tables draped with shawls. A cauldron hangs from a spit over the fire. A grill sits nearby. James cooks. Piers walks up with an armful of wood. Hugh stands at the cliff edge, assessing the weather. The women show surprise at the transformed surroundings.
We made it a bit more comfortable since we'll be here a few days.
Where did all this...
It was all tucked away in the caverns. The men who come typically spend a few days, so there are provisions, a trifle antique perhaps.
Hugh approaches.
Good morning, Princess, my lady. We'll stay 5 days, no more. I think you've noticed our accommodations, while not quite palatial, are at least comfortable.
Genevieve nods. She and Chris sit at a table.
And the contest will begin today?
Tristan and Ralph are hunting. Once they return, we commence with the swords.
Hugh bows politely, walks away. James brings bowls of porridge to Genevieve and Chris.
Your Highness.
Thank you, James.
He lingers, uncomfortable.
I would beg for your forgiveness. I cannot in good faith compete for your favor. I love another.
I thank you for your honesty. While I regret your decision, I wish you and your beloved every happiness.
James bows, relieved. He returns to his cooking.
Sadly, this leaves only 3 to vie for your hand.
3?
Tristan won't enter the contest. He doesn't want to saddle any woman with his affliction, least of all a human bride.
What affliction?
Since the age of 12, Tristan is locked in his dragon form all winter, as long as the snow falls.
Oh.
Exterior clearing, day. In the afternoon, Genevieve sits regally in a chair in an exquisite gown of her native Bordeaux style. Chris sits beside her. They face the clearing. Hugh and Ralph stand at attention, swords up. Piers, Tristan, and James watch from the side.
This is the first of the 3 contests that will inform my decision, as we agreed, based on the treaty. Begin!
Ralph and Hugh's swords clash. The fight is on. Genevieve is attentive to their quick movements. Chris is distracted by a patch of rainbow light on the ground from sunlight, hitting crystals in the rock formation. Genevieve notices her fidgeting, looks questioningly.
My full name is Crystal, you know? And here we are at the Crystal Caves. It was my great nan's idea to name me Crystal. I have this funny birthmark.
She pulls her t-shirt aside to show a cluster of shiny triangles on her shoulder. Genevieve looks.
When Great Nan saw it, she said it was a mark of her long-lost husband's family.
Was she of Berkeley as well?
She came to America from Scotland. She said she was pregnant, but her husband died on the journey.
They watch the sword fight.
She was kind of eccentric. She'd say things like, even pig heads crack beneath the dragon's jaw. I feel connected to all this somehow.
Their attention is arrested by the sudden halt to the men's movements as Hugh's sword hovers at Ralph's throat. Hugh glances to Chris before looking at Genevieve. Genevieve nods, acknowledging the win. Her eyes dart to Tristan. He doesn't notice, but Chris does. Exterior clearing, day. Genevieve and Chris, alone, stroll towards the forest.
I see the way you look at Tristan. Like there's some chemistry there.
Some what? He's not entering the contest. You heard James. Tristan is a dragon for months out of the year.
Lots of women marry guys who travel part of the year or are deployed.
Genevieve stops, turns to Chris.
What if one year he never changes back to human? What then? What if his mind becomes that of a beast? What if... Anyway, he refused to enter the contest, so I didn't decide that for him.
But you let him.
Exterior cliff edge, day. Late afternoon, Genevieve gazes across the vista. Ralph approaches. Tristan eyes them from a distance.
Fare thee well, your highness. Is there anything I might do to make your time more pleasant?
No, thank you. I'm quite settled now.
She looks away suddenly.
You mustn't be so sad. We're not ogres, merely dragons, and only the nicest, as you can see.
Ralph's charm gets through. Genevieve smiles.
It must be hard to leave your previous life. What did you miss most from back home?
Family. My little brother, Harold, is such a scamp, but I love him dearly.
Ralph's face lights up. He catches Tristan staring and winks. Interior cave chamber, night. Genevieve lies in her bed of furs and blankets staring at the cavern ceiling. Beside her, Chris sleeps. She hears a scratching sound and tenses, listening. Chris rolls over. Genevieve sits up and grabs her nose with one hand, her knife with the other.
Chris, the lantern. Oh, good grief, what is that god-awful smell?
Chris fumbles for matches, lights the lantern. A small, boar-type beast with barbed spines snarls at them from across the cave with a mouth full of teeth and an orange glow.
Oh my god!
The beast spits fire. Chris flings a rock at it. It squeals and disappears into the shadows. Chris leaps to her feet wearing an oversized nightshirt emblazoned with, "Come on, baby, light my fire." Tristan and Hugh rush up from the cabin below, swords in hand, torches held high. Piers runs in from outside the caves.
What is it? Are you hurt?
Genevieve, eyes wide with fright, clutches her blanket around her. She shakes her head and points.
It went that way. It was some kind of fire-breathing, pig-stinging thing.
Tristan and Hugh follow after the beast. Piers is visibly embarrassed to be in the bedchamber. Shouts from Tristan and Hugh off-screen. A high-pitched squeal echoes through the cavern. Genevieve shudders. Chris grabs onto Piers, then steps away from him when Hugh and Tristan return. They carry the dead beast between them, exiting the cave. Chris covers her nose and mouth.
That is revolting.
Hugh and Tristan return immediately, Hugh fixing a death stare on Piers.
I stepped away only for a moment. I don't know how a fireboard could have gotten by me.
No excuses. You were to protect them. You will take your punishment.
Hugh squares his shoulders, Piers drops his head. When Hugh raises his sword, Chris rushes up behind him.
No!
She grabs his shoulder. He recoils, accidentally elbowing her in the chest. She falls to the ground ungracefully, hitting her head, then looks around, puzzled that she didn't disappear. Hugh turns, mortified.
My lady, I'm sorry. I would never...
Uncharacteristically flustered, he takes her hand to help her up and adds a protective arm around her back. Chris glares, hauls back her arm, and punches him in the chest. He flinches slightly, but Chris cradles him.
Mother of... We're even now, and stop lording it over Piers. He's just a boy, for heaven's sake.
She sways, reaches for her head. In the background, Tristan picks up a shawl and puts it around Genevieve's shoulders. Hugh has a hard time keeping his eyes off of Chris's bare legs, her nightshirt.
Forgive me, lady. I have harmed you.
Stop it, you're forgiven already. I'll be fine in a minute once the room stops spinning. I just need to lie down.
Genevieve comes to Chris's side. As Chris lowers herself to the blankets, her eyes meet Hugh's in a lingering gaze. Interior cave chamber, night. Later, Genevieve and Chris sleep next to glowing coals. Low voices float in from outside.
Why is this so important to you, Ralph? Why are you pursuing Genevieve?
Genevieve opens her eyes, listening. Exterior cave entrance night. The sky is clear and studded with stars. The moon hangs low. Ralph and Tristan stand guard at the cave entrance.
She's pretty and smart enough not to be a burden. The prestige of marrying a human princess. Hugh has the power. Pierce has years to prove himself. You're the one everyone looked to for greatness. Gallant, smart, the perfect spare. No one ever expected much from me.
You're a duke. You rule lands as we all do.
My lands, small and mountainous. She would make warmers much warmer and ease my minds about transformation problems in my offspring. Hey, Tristan, I didn't mean... Look, I'm helping it make it a fair competition.
Every time I see you, you're pushing yourself forward.
Jealous.
Interior cave chamber night. Genevieve, still lying in her bed listening, sits up.
Come now, cousin. I see how you look at her.
Go. Sleep.
Good watch.
Exterior cave entrance night. Tristan, standing guard, hears sounds from inside the cave of Genevieve pretending to awaken. A moment later, she emerges, a Pretorius-style shawl tight around her shoulders. They both look up at the moon. Awkward silence.
What happened to Dunstan the Fourth? The first one who...
He was locked each year into dragon form from the first snowfall to the last. Same as I.
And did he spend his years alone?
No, he ruled. Denton the Determined. He was one of the first 3 dragons to marry a chosen princess.
Genevieve looks at him.
He was happily married.
And his children?
Tristan finally looks at her.
4 healthy boys.
Are you less than he?
I am less than no one. You heard Ralph and me speaking. All of us want your happiness. You deserve to be queen.
You say this as if you know me well. Perhaps I see your meddling as yet another example of how you are restricting my choices.
Tristan reacts as if Genevieve threw water in his face.
What you're protecting me from is the ability to make my own decisions.
Tristan grabs her shoulders, then stills. Genevieve waits, breathless. Her face flushes, but she bravely holds his gaze. After a moment, he relaxes, gently gliding his hands down her arms and stepping back.
I did not disqualify you from the competition. You did that yourself.
Exterior clearing, day. Next morning, Genevieve and Chris emerge from the cave sleepy. There's a sense of activity, tension among the men. Tristan, sword in hand, warms up to fight. James hurries over to the women.
Your Highness, Lady Chris, you have time to break your fast before the contest.
They sit and James serves bread and cheese.
Tristan changed his mind. Hugh is annoyed, Ralph disgruntled, and Piers is, anxious.
Genevieve is pleased. Chris's face lights up. Exterior clearing, day. Tristan and Piers sword fight. Genevieve, in her appointed chair, watches with interest. Chris looks uncomfortable. Ralph lounges on the ground a distance away. James sits on a rock, attentive. And Hugh stands, arms folded, appraising the fight and observing Genevieve. With a deft move, Tristan disarms Piers. Piers crouches on the ground, holding his wrist, sword flung into the dirt. Tristan looks to Genevieve, who nods regally in acknowledgement and continues to stare. He then offers his hand to help Piers. Hugh strides over to Tristan and Piers.
How many times have I told you not to rush your lunge?
Tristan looks at Genevieve again. She is flustered he caught her staring, and her gaze whips to Chris.
Are you well? You look ill. I feel odd. I dreamt about my great-grandmother, visiting her in the nursing home.
Interior nursing home bedroom, day. Chris's dream. Chris sits next to the bed where her great-nan Rhea, 96, rests, in a pleasant, bright room. Chris talks animatedly, but we don't hear her, only her voiceover narration.
I'm telling her about a demonstration on women's rights I helped organize.
Now we catch the end of Chris's explanation to great-nan Rhea.
And this is only the beginning. Next week we get to...
Rhea's eyes snap open and she turns her head to Chris and fixes her with a stare.
You want to be a part of the demonstration? To make a difference to women? If you want to prove your point, my dear, you should try demonstrating to dragons. Then we shall see who you are. If you have the backbone to stand by your words when there is true need for change.
She sinks back into her pillows, looks up at the ceiling.
Ah, you're so much like your great-grandfather. Same intensity and fire.
Her face clouds.
You think you understand politics, same bravery. There were choices I had to make. Hard choices. I've often wondered if I made the right one.
She closes her eyes as if to sleep, then raises a hand holding the golden card.
This crystal is for you, alone.
Exterior clearing and dream. Chris stares perplexed at Genevieve.
It seemed so real. It was kind of like a conversation we had. I thought it was just dementia, but here I am with a card that whisks me to your side like Tano and the Lone Ranger. What's the connection?
Tonto?
Exterior clearing, late afternoon. 2 tables set together and covered with shawls serve as the dining table. All are seated around it, eating.
I hope I never see a flaming pig again, dead or alive.
Fire.
Whatever. Now that I've eaten one, I might actually prefer it alive, only from a great distance.
Roast fireboar is not to your taste, milady?
It's Chris, just Chris. And I'm not complaining, really. I am grateful for the food, but there's this film of grease on my teeth.
It's something of a delicacy in our land, especially after a long winter. I hated it, though, as a child. We'd feed it to the dogs under the table.
Then sneak to the kitchens and beg cook for bread and cheese.
You're dragons. Don't you live a more natural life?
Father would flail us if we turned dragon within the castle.
He turns to Hugh and Tristan.
There's a story that you flew into the dining hall with an elk. You were what, 13, 14?
A smile plays at Tristan's lips. He nods at Genevieve.
We were so pleased with our first catch, we soared in, dropping this charred, dripping elk into the midst of a formal banquet.
Father's face was hard as stone. He was so mad.
What I remember is Mother's look of dismay.
Well, I remember it being freezing cold. Snow coming down like layers and layers of white linen.
Wasn't that the first winter Tristan was locked into his dragon body?
Hugh and Ralph look anywhere but at Tristan. Tristan looks away. Piers is oblivious.
Anne said she cried when you wasn't allowed inside and couldn't read her bedtime story.
I'd find her outside, curled beneath his wing, reading to him.
Tristan is ready to change the subject.
Tell us of something of yourself, Lady Chris. All we know is that you're from a faraway land. Do you have siblings?
Nope. I was such a hellion as a toddler that Mom refused to contemplate 2 with me.
Well, what about your lands? How's your court life?
Oh, there's no court. Just school, classes, tests. Sometimes we get together and party or listen to a band.
Ralph reaches for a lute.
The lady wants music. Well, allow me.
Montage, growing. As evening falls, Ralph plays and sings. Chris listens. Piers gets up and wanders off. Hugh and James talk in low voices. Tristan catches Genevieve's eye. They share a moment. Later, in the glow of the fire, wine cups in hands, Genevieve and Chris laugh as James gestures big, telling a story. James and Piers teach a jig to an awkward Chris. Hugh gazes at Chris. Ralph talks nonstop to Genevieve, not really looking at her. Tristan gazes at Genevieve across the table. End montage. Exterior clearing day. The next morning, dramatic clouds billow as Hugh and Tristan warm up for their sword fight. They are tense, impatient. Genevieve stands next to her chair, assessing the weather. Chris, rubbing her temple, plunks into a chair. Ralph appears at Genevieve's side.
Only a light rain coming. Please.
He gestures for her to sit, then retreats. Genevieve sits quickly, gazes regally towards Hugh and Tristan. Begin. The sword fight starts slow, cautious. The tension is palpable. Ralph, James, and Piers watch with interest. The clang of metal rings out in the silence. Hugh is focused and confident. Tristan watches for opportunity. The intensity and pace pick up with some quick moves, swords slashing the air. A thin line appears on Hugh's shirt. Chris grabs Genevieve.
Is that blood?
Genevieve's face clouds, but she continues to stare, riveted. Exterior clearing, day. The entire sky is now overcast, and Hugh and Tristan still duel. Both men have bloodstains on their torn, sweaty shirts, which reveal taut muscles. They breathe hard. Piers, on the ground next to Genevieve, bites his thumbnail. Chris clutches Genevieve's arm, and they squeeze each other's hands. Hugh attacks. Tristan retreats gracefully, fluid. Wisps of smoke trail from their nostrils. Shadows of their dragon forms take shape on the ground around them, even though there is no sun. They pause, panting, facing off.
They both risk losing control. They can't go much longer.
A chill wind gusts through across the clearing. Genevieve shivers. Chris hugs herself. Raindrops spatter the dirt. Tristan steps and turns, exposing his flank. Hugh lunges forward, sword thrusting. At the same time, the flat of Tristan's blade hits Hugh's hip. Off balance, Hugh catches himself, and in that moment, Tristan's sword tip finds Scald at Hugh's neck. Hugh drops his sword. Both men look to Genevieve, exhausted, stoic. Genevieve barely nods. Ralph steps forward to declare the victor.
Tristan, at swords!
Interior cave entrance day. Genevieve and Chris, lightly rain spattered, look out from the cave entrance. The rain falls steadily. Piers attends Hugh and Tristan as they limp towards the caves. Ralph and James rush to move things out of the rain.
Is that the victory you hoped for? Or
Well, it's not about who wins. It's never about that. Come.
Genevieve whirls and retreats into the cave. Interior cave chamber day. Torches on the wall cast a soft glow. Genevieve sprawls on her back on the furs and blankets, spent. Chris plops down next to her, kicks off her shoes.
Father said he could tell more about a man within minutes on the battlefield than in months watching him in court. How he fights, strategizes, treats his loved one, how he loses.
Genevieve nods. Chris takes off her glasses and cleans the water spots off with her shirt.
So yes, all that counts, as does every time we speak with them.
how do you think Hugh feels about this now? He was pretty livid at first. He was set on marrying you.
Genevieve sits up, propping her head on her elbow.
Are you inclined towards Hugh?
Chris studies her glasses.
Don't be silly. I can't live in a fantasy world forever. My life is in Berkeley. I want to make a difference in the world, to make something of myself.
Genevieve collapses back down on her back.
Is this what this is to you? A fantasy world? Oh, no. I only mean...
I don't know what I mean. This can't be real. And yet, it is.
Truly, that's how I felt since I was chosen, and all the way here. That I would wake and it would be but a bad dream.
And I was so hoping it was at first. But now I'm not so sure. I don't want to wake up.
Genevieve nods.
It's changed, hasn't it?
She sits up with a grunt, assesses her damp gown. She stands, goes to the trunk, and searches for dry clothes.
Do you plan to date any of them as part of the contest?
Date? As in when they were born?
No. I mean spend time with them individually. Maybe a kiss or two or whatever.
Chris, suddenly in La La Land, doesn't notice Genevieve's look of surprise.
Wow, dating a dragon. How liberating. French, this is so old world, don't you think?
Chris, this is a new tune.
Hey, one thing that's not in your contest is learning about their world, their culture. There's a lot we need to find out.
Interior Dragon Cavern night. Everyone but James is seated in the circular cavern, eating dinner and conversation. Hugh and Tristan look satisfied and relaxed with damp hair and fresh shirts. James walks in.
Rain has stopped. Clouds have cleared.
They acknowledge him, then resume the conversation.
Each of our 5 dukedoms has a council, a way for me to hear the needs of my people.
But what about your women? What's their place in your society?
Oh, our women are lovely. And like any treasures, they are to be handled carefully.
He speaks with just enough innuendo to make Genevieve blush.
You know what Mother would say to that.
What would she say?
That he had better change his ways or no woman will accept him.
Yes, my aunt would see me properly chastised. A fine, strong woman, your mother. Silver blue scales and the hottest flame in the 7 leagues.
I am curious about the other chosen princesses. You had mentioned Penelope?
Our 8th chosen, it is said that when she saw our men in dragon form, she fled in fear. Fell from the cliff.
Shocked looks from Chris and Genevieve. The men look sober.
That's when the rules were amended to sedate and secure the bride.
That's barbaric.
Well, we couldn't risk more loss of life. There was no bride that century.
And when you get them home, are they still sedated and secured?
Our chosen women are well respected. Many of them come to control lands. These arrangements have yielded prosperous and happy marriages.
Only Elsbeth and Victoria were the noteworthy failures.
Elsbeth was 5 centuries ago.
Victoria was my mother's great aunt.
How was she a failure?
She vanished.
What?
She and King Leith were like fire and oil. From her journals, she felt betrayed, coerced. She was a child when she disappeared.
Disappeared?
One of the golden cards of magic also disappeared. It was believed she took it.
Genevieve fights to keep shock off her face. Chris goes pale.
A golden card?
Interior cave chamber night. Chris and Genevieve sit on the floor, the cave bright with torches. They stare at the card between them.
It's not possible. My folks came from Scotland. Chris, your great-grandmother Rhea, Victoria, was the last chosen princess.
Chris is wild-eyed.
But don't you see? Pregnant when she left. She only had one child, my grandfather. I can't be part dragon, part imaginary reptile.
Tears slide out of Chris's eyes. Genevieve grabs her hands, holds tight, looks her in the eye.
Victoria was sister to my great-grandmother. You are my kinswoman.
They hold each other's gaze.
We're contemporary. I'm not time traveling. I'm so confused. You belong to both worlds. That's why she gave you the card.
Genevieve gathers Chris to her in an embrace as Chris starts sobbing. Genevieve looks into space, still shocked. Exterior clearing day. Pierce and Genevieve sit at a chess table. Genevieve wears a Pretoria-style gown for the first time in a gorgeous, deep color. She looks regal and in control, though every so often a glimpse of vulnerability crosses her face.
Pierce, it's your turn.
He moves a piece without too much thought.
You should pick me.
I beg your pardon?
Well, I'm closest to your age. I'm the fun one. Hugh's hot-tempered, Ralph's bullheaded, and Tristan's too cautious.
Genevieve raises an eyebrow and makes her move. It's checkmate. She won.
Oh.
Exterior clearing day. Ralph and Genevieve now play chess. Ralph tells stories and Genevieve laughs. Tristan sits a discreet distance away, his eye on them and the game, face inscrutable. Chris and James are in deep, animated conversation some distance away. Genevieve moves her knight into checkmate position. She surreptitiously checks out Tristan for the briefest moment.
Oh, does this mean checkmate?
Tristan smirks. Ralph stares at the board.
My lady, I am undone.
His easy smile is all charm.
There is yet one more contest in which I may redeem myself.
Exterior edge of clearing day. Genevieve and Chris walk towards the forest.
I'm learning so much about dragons. I still don't know how the traits for kids in mixed marriages work, and of course all their experiences with only one human in the mix.
Or did you confide in James?
No, I'm not ready to discuss my ethnicity with them. And I don't want them to take back the card. I wonder if I could ever change form. I mean, that would be... I need to ask about that next. If there are signs or feelings or how they do it.
Well, you've lived to adulthood without changing, anything happening.
Well, I did try to fly off a fence once when I was little. I broke my arm. I wonder if I could train if I had enough incentive.
Exterior clearing day. Tristan and Genevieve settle in at the chessboard. Tristan looks relaxed. Genevieve tries hard to appear relaxed. The game has not yet started. Ralph sits with them in front of Chris's glasses and picks them up carefully to examine them. Genevieve stares at the glasses. James walks by.
James, is Chris not with you?
She looks around in all directions from her seat. Hugh, near the cave entrance, notices and saunters over.
The lady needed a moment of privacy. She wanted some inspiration and incentive, she said. She headed that way.
He shrugs and gestures towards the cliff.
Oh, no, goddess, she's going to jump.
What do you mean? What's going on?
Genevieve hesitates. Color drains from her face. She starts to leave and Hugh grabs her arm.
Genevieve.
I fear she might try to fly.
What? That makes no sense.
It does if she's the great-granddaughter of King Leith and Queen Victoria.
Exterior precipice, day. Chris stands high atop an outcropping of rock at the edge of the cliff. The others rush through the forest towards her.
Chris!
Hugh snarls and runs faster, followed by Ralph and James, changing form into dragons as they run. Chris cups her hands around her mouth to shout.
Don't worry, I'm fine. I won't do anything. Whoa!
The wind gusts, knocking her off balance. Her foot slips and her arms windmill as she tips off the edge. The dragons, airborne, make a beeline towards Chris. As she falls, her neck lengthens, wings sprout from her shoulders. She transforms into an amber dragon. She is uncoordinated, wings flapping and tail flailing, neck writhing. Golden coral dragon Hugh swoops beneath her, catching her on his back. He circles, rising slowly, struggling under the weight of Dragon Chris. They reach the plateau and land, both of them changing back to human form, exhausted. An awestruck Hugh takes Chris's hand. Chris is equally stunned. Her body flickers.
Hugh, look out!
Chris reverts back into a dragon, and before Hugh can stagger away, Chris's wingtip catches him and knocks him to the ground. Tristan starts forward. James and Ralph land nearby, still in dragon form.
That's a hard head. He'll be sore for days.
Genevieve starts forward, but Pierce stops her.
Careful, a newly turned she-dragon can be...
Chris and bares her teeth at the approaching Tristan, smoke wisping out of her mouth.
vicious.
Chris swipes at the others as if guarding Hugh, then looks at him with adoration. Hugh raises himself on an elbow, holding her gaze. Chris flickers back into human form, pale and woozy, and collapses next to Hugh. Exterior clearing, day. James and Pierce prepare food at the fire. Tristan and Genevieve sit at the table, the chessboard between them. Chris, tidied and clothed in a Pretorius skirt and a t-shirt, paces near the table.
I can change into a dragon and fly. Is it a dominant gene like brown eyes or nearsightedness? But maybe not. My father never turned.
The others exchange glances and shrug at Chris's strange words.
It doesn't take much of dragon's blood to transform, and these caves are a magical place for some. Our historians believe we originated here.
Where's Hugh?
With Ralph, getting the rest of the gravel out of his hide. He'll be fine.
Chris sits down next to Genevieve, leans in.
Tell me the truth. What did you see? My memory of it is so fuzzy. Did I really attack the men?
Genevieve picks up a white and a black coin.
Oh, yes, sort of. Well, maybe by accident. I suspect it was difficult to know where the edges of your body were. Rather like wearing a court gown with all the hoops. Though a bit more dangerous in your case.
Chris bites her knuckles.
They'll leave you to your chest.
She gets up and joins James and Pierce at the fire. Tristan gives Genevieve a conspiratorial smile. Composure ruffled, she holds her hands out, a pawn hidden in each.
Choose.
Without taking his eyes off of hers, Tristan points, grazing her left hand with his fingertip for the whisper of a signet. Genevieve tries to look aloof. She opens her hand to reveal the white pawn. Exterior clearing, day. The chess game is well underway in silence. Genevieve's focus is distracted as she studies Tristan, his hands, his broad shoulders, his lips. Tristan sneaks glances at Genevieve, noticing her hair, her eyes narrowed at the board, the rise and fall of her chest. Genevieve moves her bishop and then winces slightly at her mistake. Tristan's fingers are on his knight, but he slips them off and pushes a pawn a space forward. Genevieve looks up at him and they both look away. She corrects her previous move. Exterior clearing, day. The game is almost at an end. Discarded chess pieces clutter the sides of the table. The players focus, silent. James, Pierce, and Ralph stand watching. The sky is bright blue, but threatening clouds approach. The breeze picks up.
You are evenly matched. Stalemate.
Ralph frowns, turns, and walks off. James and Pierce drift away. Genevieve and Tristan stay seated, regarding each other, intensity transitioning to fatigue. Genevieve stands.
I must stretch my legs.
May I walk with you?
She nods. Exterior forest, day. The wind has picked up. Genevieve and Tristan walk side by side, close, nearly touching. They stop at a small stream and he turns to her. He extends his hand. She touches her fingertips to his. Their hands caress. They move closer, gazing into each other's eyes. As they draw together, about to kiss, the wind gusts furiously. The clouds are upon them and the torrent of hail rains down. Genevieve flinches. A wave of pain crosses Tristan's face and he pulls away. As his hands leave hers, they are already changing into dragon claws against his will. He transforms into a silver emerald dragon, one wing aloft over Genevieve, shielding her from the ice storm. She freezes in fear. His head sneaks down to look at her, and she sees herself reflected in his eye. She bolts, running back towards the caves. Interior cave chamber, day. Genevieve sits on her makeshift bed, wrapped in a shawl, staring at the torch burning on the wall. Chris clomps in, breaking the silence.
Hoo-wee, it is hot out there. You'd never know I hailed like crazy yesterday. Nice and cool in here, though.
She sits down next to Genevieve.
What's with you and Tristan? Yesterday I thought you'd climb into each other's pockets, and today you're avoiding each other.
Nothing.
It's a whole lot of nothing.
Is Tristan angry?
I don't know, maybe you should ask him.
No, let it be. It's for the best.
Jenny, I get that you're planning on marrying here, but let that be your only sacrifice.
Genevieve looks at Chris with consternation.
You're up against Hugh. He's ready when you are.
Interior Dragon Cavern, day. Hugh and Genevieve sit across from each other, chessboard between them, ready for the game. James and Piers pack things and putter in the background. Hugh is somber, distracted, distant. He takes a quick breath and looks at Genevieve.
Genevieve, I wish to speak honestly. Your path here was harsh. I don't deny that. But neither of us came here by our desires alone. We are, both of us, bound by duty. But this doesn't mean we can't learn to love.
Genevieve looks at him, ambivalent.
I've made many missteps in courting you. I offer no excuse. But I do offer a new beginning, where I have taken you for granted, ignored your desires and feelings. I promise from here on to listen, to honor and value your words.
Genevieve, slightly surprised, a bit beguiled, nods in acknowledgement.
I would be proud to have you as my queen.
Genevieve reaches out to take his hand. They hold a gaze that's regal, respectful, friendly, but without sexual tension.
Shall we begin?
Interior Dragon Cavern, day. The game is nearly over. Genevieve and Hugh concentrate on the board. Hugh moves his knight to take Genevieve's queen.
Checkmate.
He picks up her queen gently. Genevieve scans the board, looks up at him, nods, and smiles in resignation. Exterior cliff edge, day. Late afternoon, Genevieve sits on a flat rock facing the breathtaking view. She holds a large emerald ring and a poem written on parchment. Chris comes up to her, sits on the ground.
Have you made your decision yet? It's the end of today, right?
I still await gifts from Ralph and Tristan. Passion is fleeting and intellect enduring, my mother always said. They expected me to be a queen from the beginning. My parents would expect me to make the most advantageous political alliance.
She tries on the ring, admires it.
And yet?
And yet...
Genevieve takes off the ring. She gazes towards the horizon. A dragon trumpets in the tent. Chris and Genevieve, alarmed, look back towards the camp. Exterior clearing, day. James and Pierce run to the clearing from the forest, looking up as the dragon trumpets, ending in a yelp. Hugh and Tristan run out from the caves, eyes on the sky. The dragon approaches, silhouetted against the low sun. Exterior clearing, day. The dragon, Ralph's bronze turquoise, circles and sweeps, landing in the clearing amid a cloud of dust. Genevieve's little brother, Harold, clings to a leather harness. Ralph's talons gently pluck Harold out of the harness and pin him on the ground. Genevieve, walking fast from the cliff edge into the clearing, spots Harold and takes off running. Chris is right behind her.
Harold! Release him!
Genevieve! Ralph transforms into a man, still pinning Harold to the ground. The leather harness and a satchel fall to the side. Ralph is furious.
Don't you ever use spurs on me again.
The other men rush over and help both up, shielding Ralph from Genevieve's view. Ralph grabs the satchel and gets out his clothes, dressing hurriedly. Harold wriggles out of the huddle of men as Genevieve reaches him and she wraps him in a fierce hug. A wooden sword is strapped around his waist.
Harold!
Harold pushes away so he can smile up at his sister. Did you see me? I rode a dragon. I flew. I came for you to rescue you. Genevieve hugs him, savoring him. Then she looks up.
Ralph, what have you done?
I left a note. I wrote to Mama saying I was leaving with the dragon to get you and I'd be back when I rescued you. The men gather around. Remember, I am Sir Harold, the Dragon Slayer. He whips out his wooden sword and brandishes it at Ralph. Back, foul beast. He makes contact with Ralph's knee. Ralph grabs the end of the sword and yanks it out of Harold's hands.
The perfect gift. I have the perfect gift for you, you little monster.
No. No, please. He's just trying to protect me. Truly, it is a lovely gift, Ralph. Only that
It is an unintentional act of war.
we have to take it back immediately.
But who have you chosen?
All eyes turn to Ralph in disbelief.
That has to wait. I have to start back now.
But no princess has ever been returned. And now that your brother knows of us, he also cannot return.
No, he must go back. Ralph, you have destroyed our isolation by careless strokes of your wings.
Is that such a bad thing? It's changed so hard for you? Doing the right thing?
Chris and Hugh lock eyes.
You still need to choose. End of day today. Honor your
I
word.
must have decided by now anyway.
This crisis comes first.
I brought you what you missed most from your old life.
Hugh, still looking at Chris, steps forward, lifts her chin with his hand and kisses her gently. Everyone is stunned into silence. Ralph grins, James looks unsurprised, Tristan thoughtful, Pierce confused. Genevieve is shocked. Hugh and Chris separate, Chris dazed. Hugh turns to Genevieve. She hands him the emerald ring. Hugh places the ring into Chris's hand, wrapping his hands around hers for a moment.
Your choice just got easier.
I cannot believe.
We abided by your rules. Honor the contract. Who will you marry?
Honor the contract. As if. Wait, you've broken the compact. Kidnapping a king's heir? I am no longer bound. I can do as I wish, and I wish that we be taken home.
She plays Harold near to her, her eyes defying anyone to say otherwise.
You broke the treaty.
It was not my intention. Since my gift is of no value, I will take your brother back, and a day's rest and I will be restored to make the journey.
I'll not send him back without me. If my people saw a dragon now, they would shoot their arrows before noticing a small boy.
I am not small. Genevieve and Ralph stare each other down.
James and I can leave within the hour, carrying both of you. We'll have you back by dawn.
Return the princess.
You know what that means?
Tristan ignores him.
You would have to travel by air.
Genevieve glances and nods.
Why can't Lady Chris return with the boy instead?
They already think that she's a witch. It must be me. I will fly. There's no one that I trust more than Tristan.
Interior, cave chamber, day. Genevieve, with Chris helping, hastily dresses in layers for the journey.
Chris, I'm not certain that I can do it.
Yes, you can. Just think of Tristan as a big horse.
Genevieve fumbled with her clothes, blushing.
Did he ever give you a gift?
Genevieve shakes her head, disappointed.
I was ready to choose him. I am ready to choose him, but the flying feels, intimate. Is it unseemly?
You've got to be kidding. After all we've been through, unseemly is what worries you?
She takes Genevieve's face in her hands.
You are so past this.
Well spoken.
They spring back into action. Exterior, clearing, day. Tristan and James pack satchels with clothing and food and examine leather harnesses and buckles. Pierce spars with Harold and his wooden sword. Harold is having the time of his life. A worried Genevieve emerges from the caves. Harold runs to her. Genevieve begins wrapping Harold in the shawl.
There's a storm forming up in the west. It might be better to wait.
We go now. We discuss this. We return them both, and no more will we take Princess this way. The treaty, this process, must be renegotiated.
Conflicting emotions pass across Genevieve's face. Can we go now? I can't wait to fly again. Harold, the the dragon rider? I'm sorry I wanted to slay you. I didn't know you were nice. The men almost laugh. Hugh and Chris come out of the caves carrying heavy cloaks and leather straps.
I smell rain not far off. It's going to be cold for you. We'll bundle you as best we can.
I'll protect you, Genevieve. The storm won't come while I'm here. Sir Harold the Storm Turner. That's what they'll call me. Tristan ruffles Harold's hair.
Perhaps with you astride, we can outfly the storm, small king.
He stoops next to Harold and inspects the boy's boots, then smiles at Genevieve.
Checking for spurs.
Genevieve smiles back weakly, taking strength from Tristan's gaze. Exterior, clearing, day. James has transformed into his purple and umber dragon form, and Tristan into his silver and green. Harold scrambles onto James's wing, and Hugh and Pierce buckle him into the leather harness. Genevieve turns to Chris, trembling.
Chris, I can't say goodbye. I can't bear to leave you.
This isn't about goodbye. I'll find you. You know I will. We have a bond that has crossed worlds.
Their embrace is long and desperate.
What will you do, Chris?
I don't know. I can't just leave my family and my other life, but I can't abandon my future because of some guy. Not in my world or this one. I need time to think.
Hugh secures Genevieve onto Tristan's back. She looks at Tristan's shining scales and muscles rippling beneath, closes her eyes, trying to breathe. Tristan extends his wings and leaps into the air. Genevieve clutches at his neck. Exterior, in the air, night. The evening light casts an eerie glow about the landscape. The two dragons soar up into the sky. Harold whoops. Woo! Yeah! Woohoo! Lady. Exhilaration crosses Genevieve's face as she takes in the experience.
I'm going home.
Exterior, in the air, night. James and Tristan fly side by side in darkness, lashed by wind and rain. They bugle to one another, then slowly start downward, losing altitude and circling. Exterior, meadow, night. The dragons land at the edge of a wood. Genevieve, freezing and rain-soaked, struggles to free herself from the harness. She slides off Tristan's back, crumpling to the muddy ground. She hauls herself up, making her way through the rain to Harold, who is whimpering and crying, teeth chattering. She takes him off of James into her arms.
I know it's miserable, but we'll be okay. We'll find shelter.
She looks around in despair. Tristan's wing stretches out and she hurries under it. She puts Harold down and spreads out her cloak. Tristan's nostrils appear under the edge of his wing and he gently blows hot air. Genevieve turns toward it, warming her hands. Interior, under Tristan's wing, day. Genevieve sleeps curled around Harold. They are dry and relaxed, peaceful and content. Genevieve's hand rests against Tristan's scales. Tristan's wing shifts, letting in the early morning light. Genevieve wakes, sitting up stiffly. The weather is calm. Exterior, in the air, day. The morning sunshine warms their backs as Genevieve and Harold fly on Tristan and James as before. Harold points to their castle in the distance exuberantly. Genevieve smiles and nods. Exterior, forest edge, day. Tristan, in human form and dressed, stands with Genevieve at the edge of a field behind the castle. James remains in dragon form, hidden in the trees. Harold cavorts with his sword towards the castle.
Here we must leave you. We may already have been seen in the sky.
I would have put you in danger, but, Tristan, what would have been your gift?
He reaches for her hand.
Your sovereignty. The freedom to choose. To go back.
That was to be your gift?
It's no matter now, thanks to Ralph.
He becomes earnest and takes her other hand, steps closer.
I leave you with this pledge. We won't return to take you by force, and no harm will come to your kingdom.
He kisses the palm of her hand.
My gift to you is my art.
Genevieve leans in and they kiss. Tristan pulls back gently.
If I don't leave now, I may never be able to keep my promise.
He retreats towards the forest. There is a distant rumbling.
Tristan, I want to tell you that
He turns, eyes filled with love and hope. Before Genevieve can say more, 3 soldiers on horses crest the hill with 6 immediately behind. They draw bows.
No!
Loose the arrows!
2 arrows hit Tristan and he falls.
No! Tristan!
She rushes forward in front of the line of soldiers. The lead soldier is frantic.
Hold! Hold!
With a terrifying bugle, James flies through and scoops up Tristan, then soars into the air. Genevieve and the others cower instinctively. She sinks to the ground, eyes on the sky. More horsemen thunder up. She falls over on the grass, head on her arms, sobs. Exterior, courtyard, day. The king and queen rush out of the castle into the courtyard as Harold scoopers up and Genevieve stumbles into their arms. They embrace with a great deal of emotion and disbelief. Interior, Genevieve's room, day. Genevieve reclines as still as death in a steaming bathtub with floating rose petals in front of the fire. Clara and Melody tend to her quietly. Clara sniffles back tears. Melody holds up Genevieve's muddy clothing.
Where in the world? Have you ever seen?
Clara bursts out in a new round of sniffles.
How she's come back to us. She's exhausted, poor dear. Okay, let's wash her hair and bundle her into bed.
Interior, Genevieve's room, day. Genevieve sleeps with a clean face and shining hair. The warm sumptuousness of her room is a contrast to her time at the Crystal Caves. Exterior, castle grounds, night. The castle and surrounds are quiet and peaceful under a bright moon and starry sky. Interior, parlor, day. Genevieve and her father, the king, argue. Rain spatters the windows.
But I want to go back.
There is no need. You've done your duty, fulfilled your part of this compact. I need to see that document. But you were to remain here. In fact, Prince Theo!
No, Theo, you don't understand. I want to go back. I choose to go back. And if only I knew if Tristan were still alive. But winter is too close upon us, so there will be no word till spring. And then even then...
She shudders. Interior, castle passage, day. A different day. Genevieve hurries after her father as he strides along the passage. She wears the dragon's token around her neck.
No, they are beasts!
They are not! They are...
She grabs his arm and pulls him in the opposite direction. Interior, portrait hall, day. Genevieve drags the king into the portrait hall. She gestures to encompass all the chosen princess portraits.
We are already allied by blood. That was none of our doing. And mind you, Morgan maintained the deception. That treaty is years old. They need us. They need an alliance. They need a new treaty.
You were sacrificed once already. I will not lose you to dragons again.
Genevieve fights to maintain patience.
It is not a sacrifice.
Who in our kingdom would understand that? Give their daughters willingly to dragons. I understand the reason behind the deception, but it ends now. You ended it. You all came back.
Genevieve whirls away to the window, glowering in frustration, staring into the frozen landscape. Exterior, castle grounds, day. It is finally spring. The ground is muddy, but trees are budding. The sky is bright and sunny. Interior, parlor, day. Genevieve argues with the king. They both pace in agitation.
The season has turned. You must give me your leave to go.
On that dangerous journey, I will not have you endanger yourself nor others. The answer is no.
But you don't understand.
They must come to us. Now leave me.
Interior, queen's chamber, day. The queen listens serenely to Genevieve.
But why would they come to us when all I wanted was to get away? And then there was the attack on Tristan. Their risk is far greater than if I journey to the caves.
Her mother looks at her with sympathy.
Let that chapter close. We're back to how things were. And if nothing had changed, your nuptials with Theo are planned for midsummer.
Everything has changed. Does no one understand?
Exterior, courtyard, day. Genevieve waits, fiddling nervously with her hand. Captain Marcus enters the courtyard, startled to see her. He bows.
Your Majesty.
Captain Marcus, a word?
A shadow passes over his face as he nods. Exterior, castle grounds, day. Genevieve rounds a corner, leaving her talk with Marcus, and bumps into Harold, lurking and listening.
Harold!
Please take me with you. I want to see the dragons again.
What? No, not a word of this to anyone. Not a single solitary word, or no one's going anywhere. The preparations take time.
Interior parlor, day. The royal family and court nobles relax in the late afternoon. Clara and Melody play music. Genevieve scribbles notes on parchment. The dragon's token shines around her neck. The air ripples and Chris appears. She wears an amethyst-colored gown in the style of Pretorius. The edge of a Birkenstock sandal is visible beneath her gown. The music stops and Clara screams. Genevieve rushes into Chris's arms, jubilant. Chris! It's the witch! She's with the dragons. They're going to take our princess again.
Oh.
Guards lunge forward, but Genevieve shields Chris.
No, she's our kinswoman.
The guards look to the king. Chris relaxes visibly as the guards retreat. Genevieve hugs her again.
I cannot believe it.
She leads her by the hand to the king.
Father, if I may introduce you to Chris, Crystal of Berkeley, great-granddaughter of our own Princess Victoria.
Whispers among the nobles grow in volume.
I would beg an audience for her.
Genevieve drops into a low, graceful curtsy. Chris curtsies awkwardly next to her.
Rise, my daughter.
Interior parlor, day. Chris talks animatedly to the king, who listens gravely. Finally, he lifts his hand for Chris to kiss his ring. She grabs his hand and shakes it instead, to his surprise. A commotion of voices outside the door gains strength. Chris smiles at Genevieve, her eyes shining with excitement. They move to the side of the room.
What do you think of this dress? Cool, huh? Yes, but, I promised I would come, didn't I?
Genevieve starts crying.
What's wrong? I feared I wouldn't see you again, and I feel so isolated here. And what of Tristan? Is he alive? Was he badly hurt? He's fine. Oh, right. He said you would be worried. Dragons are tough. A few little arrows can stop him.
In the background, a guard enters and strides to the king.
So you stayed? I flew with them. It was amazing. Though I almost lost the golden card, but I had to go back to Berkeley to finish the semester, and now it's time to reestablish relationships between countries, or kingdoms, like China and the US.
Genevieve doesn't get it.
You know, like John Lennon, give peace a chance.
Blank stare from Genevieve.
You'll see in a second. We planned the timing pretty carefully, though what was months ago. We? Yeah, Hugh and I. Do you hear that? I think our timing worked.
The sound of voices grows louder.
Hugh's here? And the others? Is Tristan?
The guard bangs the floor with his staff and the room quiets.
King Willem and Queen Camille, may I present King Hugh Buchan of Pretorius and...
The door opens and the commotion drowns out the rest of his words. Everyone talks at once. Hugh, in formal court attire, strides in, flanked by Tristan, Ralph, Pierce, and James. They are impeccably groomed and incredibly handsome. They maintain confident, friendly expressions, eyes on the king, though they are self-conscious about all the attention. Harold bounds in after them, jumping up and down, ecstatic. Genevieve is riveted, eyes on Tristan. The men approach the king and bow. We cannot hear what they say.
You did this, Jenny. They came, all of them, prepared to play ball. I mean to talk. We'll negotiate a new treaty, one where all the cards are on the table, totally up front.
Yes, of course. He said I was free, that they wouldn't come for me.
She tries to hide her disappointment.
No, is that what you think? No, Tristan came just for the treaty? Until I left, you were all he talked about. No, he's here. We're all here for you.
Genevieve takes this in.
You have to go to him. He said you would have to because of a promise that he made.
Tristan and the king are looking at her. Tristan with adoration and intensity.
They are demonstrating, are they not?
Yes, absolutely. Great Anne would be amazed. It's just as she wished. A demonstration of dragons.
Genevieve moves slowly, eyes locked on Tristan. A smile spreads across her face and she runs into his arms. He embraces her and they kiss passionately. The onlookers, including the king and queen, break into smiles from the joy they radiate. In the background, Hugh and Chris reunite with enthusiasm. Tristan and Genevieve come up for air, still in an embrace.
I thought you weren't coming back. I was going to come find you, and you should see the plans, the preparations that I had been...
Now she's laughing and crying and marveling. He touches the golden token in her throat, awestruck.
You wear it.
Of course I do, Tristan. I choose you. You are my chosen.
They smile in a moment of perfect happiness and kiss again. Fade out.
I hate it.
There were. Thank you all. You guys were wonderful, every one of you. Julie, would you like to come up and maybe say a few words and take some questions?
Sure. I saw him. I read Dragon's Chosen, and I am so amazed at how you were able to use stage direction and all the different places and times that y'all were able to keep the track. I mean, how do you do that?
Yeah, it was when I first wrote, the first draft of this was miles long, and I had the whole journey in there. There's the whole journey that I just had to okay, 20 minutes, but that'd be the case. And so that was a lot of just refining and cutting and deciding and like, how much can I cut but still keep the story? And even, I could, since the version that won and the version that you heard, that was like 7 pages, 10 pages shorter. So just cutting out the typing the dialogue and, figuring out what can come out, but still move the story forward and still not lose anything. And inventing scenes, right? Because the original book Ingenity's headed for first person account, and we have all her thoughts. And none of the other characters' thoughts, and so it's sort of interpreting that, and what are we going to be able to see? So some of the scenes are invented, but as much as the dialogue, as much as Gwen's words, I want to keep in there as much as possible.
I like the dichotomy between our modern world and the kingdoms within any authors you look to, you emulate, use for the dialogues, stuff to make.
Yeah, Gwen, I can't hear her, and so do you want to talk about the parallel, the modern world and the medieval type world, and did you have any authors that you look towards as mentor texts, or to get the dialogue and the
Oh, no, I was just being surreal. No, I whole, no, as I was telling them before, the part of my thoughts in here was trying to take what's good about conservatism, the honor, the duty, and what's good about the very liberal. And I was trying to make them overlap at least a little bit and show the best of both and the worst of both. So that was awesome.
How was the process working with Frida to anytime with to pare down what you had to what we just saw here, which was remarkably efficient and well made.
Yeah, well, and it was wonderful. I got to the rehearsal to very close. And Frida was amazing at welcoming all of us. We're all on Zoom for the rehearsal, so it's sort of that, sort of impersonal windows that she made everyone kind of feel together. And a lot of it was striking through some character reaction. So when you saw people nodding, or a lot of that was in the script, it could come out because we didn't need to hear that read, and you could just see the characters' reactions. So that was a lot in it. And then for me to hear it actually read, all of it's different. And so, Hugh had longer speeches that I just took out some things that were redundant. And it just tightened it up and especially when the pacing, those dramas when it's tense and there's things happening. When Harold came back, or came to the Crystal Caves, they were getting ready to fly back into the song themes. They were climbing up and they were getting ready. And when I heard them, we just need to get them on the drive. But I was so hearing it made it a huge difference to a writer, because you hear it in your head, it sounds one way, and reading in a book, when you read the book, it sounds one way, but then when you actually hear dialogue coming out of people's mouths, and that's just the whole thing.
Yeah, you could hear when something might be superfluous and
Quick shout out to Frida, our director.
No, Frida has a short film that she directed that will be playing in Matilda Auditorium tomorrow evening at 7:30.
Then Bruce edited. Then Bruce has a film showing tomorrow at 12:30. Did you know it was going to be so funny? I don't know. Well, yes. The lines that I did not expect
last. So that was really wonderful. Oh, and you said you should pick me. I didn't. But other than like I mean, it definitely hit the humor in there, and it's interesting to balance, right? It's like tense moments. So we had like Chris's little one-liners, and then it's kind of like lighten the mood, and you know, I think that's important in a movie that's really driven. Yeah.
I think Theo and Pierce get together.
It's mine.
You love yourself, don't you?
How do you feel about the difference between adapting a work and writing an original screenplay? Like, what are the different challenges in adaptation?
Well, that's a really good question. So I have also written an original screenplay. Having the structure of the story is great because you know what's gonna happen, right? And it's like finding the beats of the plot and kind of making sure those are in there, and then getting as much as you can of the storyline in there. And then writing an original, you have to figure out where that's going. And so I love adaptation because of that, because there's the structure already there, and the story, the challenge of translating it is something that I really enjoy. It's difficult, but it's like kind of putting a puzzle together, right? And it's like analytical, but it's also super creative, and you have to come up with new scenes that are still true to the characters and true to the feeling of it. So that's why I love adaptation. But yeah, original scripts are also fun, and you can go anywhere in any direction, and they can change a lot more, right? They can, you can start thinking you're going to go in one direction, and then they can take a left turn and head somewhere else, and if it's a whole different stories, and so yeah.
Well, I hate to rush everyone out. We've got another event here in about 25 minutes. With it.
Thank you.
Is it